joined now by internet sensation Chris the Magician Melling. Chris, congratulations on becoming, I think, one of the biggest things in pool since Naoki Oi went viral with all those interviews at the World Pool Masters.
Yeah, obviously it's a great moment for me and obviously for pool in general. It's not really about me, it's about the sport. You know, obviously it's nice to get recognition because I was the one who went for the crazy shots in a no-win situation, really, and obviously the shots came off. All
right, so in case you haven't seen it, I'm sure, you know, if you're watching this interview, you're interested in pool, but, you know, it took place at the RYO Rack Classic in July here at the Steinway Billiards, and a match against Mika Immonen. And there was a do or die match. This was great about it. It was the winner goes through to the final 16, and the loser was out. In rack 3 of that match, you pulled off 3 of the most amazing shots that I think anyone's ever seen, and it has absolutely gone viral on the internet. I mean, and you made me look so good, and that's why I just want to bow down to you, because just moments before that I was commentating on the match, and I was talking about how with Johnny Archer about how entertaining a player you are and how you take the most daring shots, and then there you go and take these absolutely sick shots that nobody would even think about taking. Where did you come up with these ideas? I mean, most people in these situations get conservative, Chris. And you go the other route. You get daring. You just throw all caution to the wind.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, really, because obviously coming from an English pool background and obviously playing snooker professionally as well, I always knew that my potting's always been my main asset. It's always been good since a young kid. But obviously, when you get the battle scars with losing, you tend to tighten up on the potting and get a bit more tactical and doing anything to win, really, that's legal. But going back to the English pool, I was well regarded as probably the best potter that's ever played the game, and that's come from all the top players. And whenever I seemed to hit a high gear at English pool, nobody could match me. The problem was I never hit the high gear as often as I should have done, let's say. I was never the most consistent player, but when I did hit that ultimate gear, I was more or less unstoppable. But like I said, my potting's always been there, and I've always been one of these that if I can see a ball, I'd rather take it on than play safe and give my opponent a chance to take it on. So I'd rather put all the balls in my court and hopefully get the balls down.
So obviously then last night you're starting out on that 4 ball, which was like your first ball in the rack. You had solids, and what, you were feeling it at that point? That's why you went for that. Even, I mean, the first shot, a lot of people weren't even talking about the first shot. They were talking about the swerve shot, which we'll get to in a second. But the first shot was so creative. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine even thinking of something like that.
Well, the first shot, obviously it's take what you make, and I made a solid on the break, so I had to go for solids, and the only ball I could see was the 4 ball. So I thought, well, I can't pot it, so what can I do? And I thought, well, the only thing in that situation what you can do is try and make it difficult for your opponent. But with these rules, your opponent can pot his ball onto yours, make your ball, and it's loss of turn, especially if they're called safe. So I thought, well, I'll cut it into his ball, make it difficult, but I also know playing it the way I play it, I'll knock mine towards the pocket and leave him stuck behind his. So obviously that's what I tried to do.
But when you hit the ball, the 13 ball, it came out, and the cue ball was then coming back across the table and hit that moving 13 ball into your ball. That is brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. Obviously, I've called the ball in the pocket, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to continue.
Right.
But I wouldn't have been bothered if it hadn't have dropped.
Right.
I'd have kind of still been in a good situation. But obviously then I was snooking on the 2
so
ball.
You make the 4 ball, but now you're snookered behind the 13 ball, and your next ball, you're looking at this 2 ball way down table, can't even see it. Where did you just automatically think, I'm taking this swerve shot, I'm going to try it?
Yeah, well, at first I looked at coming off the side cushion and making the 7 in the middle, and I thought, well, it's not an easy shot, what should I do? And I just thought, right, let's just go for it, because if I don't go for it, like I said earlier, I'd rather take it on than let my opponent go for it. And when I do exhibitions all around the country, around the world, I'm pretty good at swerve shots. So obviously on that table it's brand new, the cloth's brand new, the ball's brand new, etc. So it's a bit more difficult, and I just thought, well, give me a chance. I know I'm going to get near it, but obviously potting it and landing position on the 5, which when I got position on the 5, I automatically knew the next 3 balls was easy.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, how do I get on the 1? And the 1 would only go in the side pocket. It was so tight to get on it. But not only that, I wanted to kind of break other balls out to give myself a chance of it going in another pocket. But when I break a ball out from a position, I'd like to give myself a guarantee of landing on another ball, but I couldn't do it in that situation. So I just thought, right, I'll take them out, give myself a chance to get on it in the middle. I didn't get on in the middle because I landed bridging, and I'm only 5'7", I couldn't reach the shot, and as you can see probably on the video, I was struggling. So I just reached over and I just thought, right, the only shot I can possibly play, I couldn't double it anywhere. I just thought, right, I'll pop the ball in the middle, I can't miss that shot, and I'm just going to send the 1 round the angles and play it like a bank pull shot off 4 rails, and obviously
4 rails through all kinds of traffic of Mica stripes, and then that yellow 1 ball, I mean, there was hardly any gap there where the 8 ball was blocking, but it went right by and into the pocket.
Yeah, just luckily for me, it went straight in, and to be honest, like, it was a weird feeling because I knew obviously it was going to go mental, you know, in the room. I didn't realise how big it was going to go online. I mean, it's gone crazy. I think there's something like 400,000 or 500,000 views already. It's only been on maybe 16 hours. And I'm overwhelmed by it, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm the type of guy who's really down to earth. I've never been different, no matter what I've achieved in any sport or in life in general, and I never will be different, you know, because if I did that, I'd be false. I'd be living a lie. You know, I like to go out for a beer with my friends on a weekend. I don't drink through the week. I practice sometimes through the week, not all the time, but I enjoy my life. I mean, life's too short not to enjoy it. I've had a bit of tragedy over the past few years, well, not the past 3 or 4 years, and I just think to myself, well, at the end of the day, it's my job, it's a game of pool, and yeah, if I lose, it hurts, but it's not the end of the world. I'm still breathing, you know, so you can go out and get a job, you can do anything. So I just like to enjoy it now, and if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win.
So you're saying that's why you tend to like to take these kind of risky shots and entertaining shots, because you want to entertain yourself, you want to entertain the fans.
Yeah, because the public pay to see entertainment at the end of the day. I mean, you go watch a football match. Who's the best footballer, Messi or Ronaldo? Why? They're the most entertaining. They might not score as many goals as some strikers. They do score as many as anybody really, but they're so entertaining. Same with tennis, Federer, Nadal. You know, nobody seems to mention Pete Sampras anymore, or people like that. And these people stand out so much because they're entertaining. Agassi's like out there like Strickland, and you know, I like to be who I am, and I ain't going to change that for nothing.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the messages online are just outrageous. People are saying that is the best clearance they've ever seen in any rack.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm over, and I genuinely am overwhelmed by it. It's I've won world titles. I've met many famous people. I've had pictures with many famous people. I've had dinner with Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones. I know a lot of famous people as well, and people think, oh, how do you know these? How do you know them? There's no way they're your friends. You don't have their phone number, blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden the limelight's on me. I'm thinking, well, I wish it wasn't on me, do you know what I mean? Because everybody's like tagging me on Facebook, tagging me on Twitter. I must have had, and I'm not exaggerating, 2,500 notifications on my Facebook today. I've charged my phone 3 times today. Honestly, I mean, it's crazy. But like I said, I'm happy to have done what I've done, and if it gets the sport a bit further up the ladder and gets it a bit of appreciation, that's my job done.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, how many years have you played, been in Q Sports?
Well, I started playing on a 3-foot table when I was 3 years old. My mum and dad bought me a table. I then started playing in the local pub with my dad on a Saturday afternoon. My dad didn't really play, it was more he went for a beer, and I thought of a game of pool or darts. And then my next door neighbour took me to the snooker club one night. I didn't even know there was a snooker club in Keighley, where I live. Started playing for the ladies team when I was 9.
The ladies team.
Yeah, nobody would take me on because I was a young kid, you see. And it just went from there. I became the local individual champion, seniors, when I was 14. And it's a hotbed for pool where I live, English pool. And then I started playing on the professional circuit when I was 16. And I became professional when I was 17. And I won my first world title when I was 21.
So how many years total have you been on the table?
35.
35 years, and here you are now. That one rack has actually made you quite famous. And it just continues to go around and around. You know how trick shots are. A lot of people who don't really follow pool like to watch trick shots. And so I think this is only going to get bigger. I mean, it's not trick shot. This is real. This wasn't any trick at all. Well, this is only going to get bigger and bigger because this will be watched millions of times in the next few months.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that amazing?
That's the beauty of it, is the fact it wasn't a trick shot. It was an actual World Series title game. You know, I had to win that match to stay in the event, and it was 1-1. Yes, it was early in the game, but when you're playing somebody of Mika's class, every frame and every shot counts. And for me to do that in a match in real-time play live on the internet on Unilad, it's a dream, really. I can honestly say I've met many players who do trick shots. Florian Collar is the greatest I've ever seen by an absolute mile.
Yeah.
Mike Massey, people like that. Even Steve Davis, brilliant at trick shots. But I don't think any of them would have attempted it or done it in a match. And for me, that's the beauty of it. You know, is the fact that I have done it and I've had the bottle to take it on. Where many people wouldn't.
All right, so this begs the question now, in another match coming up, let's say, well, you're already knocked out of this tournament, you lost in the final 16, but in other tournaments coming up, will you now feel pressure to perform in this manner, in this sort of daring manner? Or are you just going to be yourself and that'll come naturally?
Well, I think it's going to actually be role reversal. And what I mean by that is that people are now going to realise that no matter where that cue ball's left, I can pop that ball. It will go somewhere. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you can see a ball, it will go in. And if you ask any pool player who knows me, they'll tell you that's what I think. And I'm very good at forgetting mistakes. They don't stay in my head very long, which is a good thing to have. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, that 3 shots is not going to come off all the time. Probably never come off ever again.
Well,
you know?
I will tell people, though, that I've been watching you for years, and when you won the China Open in 2010, right? It was 2010? And, I mean, you were on fire in a similar manner, and there were some of the matches there where you were almost knocked out, and you were shooting from inside the pocket, and, I mean, long table shots, shots that nobody would take on, and you made them and advanced through that tournament and eventually won. And I still remember that of all the thousands of matches I've ever watched, yours really stands out. And I remember that run through the China Open. So I'm sure we can expect more Chris Melling highlight reels in the weeks and months to come.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more titles for me to win. I'm not the type of guy who'll win a title, and that's me. I want to win more. Obviously, seeing what Darren's done, I mean, what Darren's done is just frightening. It's unbelievable. In the 10 years of him playing American pool, I mean, I've only been really playing 5-6 years properly, you know, with proper equipment, proper cues, but from Predator, who were kind enough to sponsor me with the equipment. And I mean, yeah, there's a lot more titles to come. There's a lot more of them shots going to come at some point.
All right, well, we're going to keep an eye on it for him. But if you haven't seen it, look it up, Chris Melling Whirlpool Series on Facebook and YouTube, because it's fantastic. Chris, thanks a lot, and congratulations, and thanks for the entertaining rack last night. That is as fun a rack of pool as I've ever seen.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
All right, Chris Melling, ladies and gentlemen.